Did you know if you want to be an AI engineer, Python is the king there. Python is excellent at machine learning, and when you have to handle a lot of data, when you have to train data, Python is the best out there. And indeed, you have probably seen recently in the recent years, Python has increased in terms of popularity. Like it really went up compared to the other programming languages because Python exceeds so well at machine learning and at similar tasks, pipeline, like even a lot of libraries out there for using AI or for using similar tools or maybe even Fast API, Fast AI, all of this is in Python. And Python is one. Then you can also, of course, it's also Python, use Jupyter. Jupyter Notebook, it's amazing when you want to test what you have done, the manipulation, uh, different tasks you need to do. Jupyter Notebook is the one. Then you would have to integrate AI services into your existing applications. Luckily for you, really talented people have already done a lot of work for you. You just need to use a third-party API, such as Cloud API, such as OpenAI API, Mistral API, and you can integrate very quickly, very easily AI into your service. Then you have to know exactly what you need to build there because knowing Python, knowing Jupyter Notebook, knowing how you can integrate AI in your applications, it's not enough. Learning is good, but we only retain up to 20% of what we learn. However, when we apply what we learn, when we practice, when we create projects from what we learn, then we would retain easily 70 to 80, 90% of what we have learned. In my case, I believe, in my opinion, it's more like 75%. We can also teach back what we have learned, and then we schematize, we clarify our journey, and that helps to reinforce the learning. But that's a different part. Learning is probably a teaching, sorry, is for later on. But just by applying and by creating a project from what you have learned, you will keep the knowledge because otherwise you just retain 15 to 20% of your learning, and then it's a bit pointless. 20% is nothing. And from there, you would create projects from problems you currently have. It's always good to focus on the problems. I have a notebook here, and I always write problems I currently have, and then how can I create a solution from my existing problems? And what I can do, how I can train a model. You have scikit-learn, it's also a Python library to train models. You have a lot of pipeline libraries, a lot of data science packages in Python are used in AI too. In my case, I'm also a data scientist and a software engineer, and I love both. I have done R in the past, but R these days is mostly academic. So really learn Python. Sorry, I thought it stopped recording. Locally, it's still recording. So start today by building a project you really want to have, something for an existing problem you don't know how to solve, and maybe you want to fine-tune a lot of data. Like for instance, you can use PyTorch. PyTorch is also a Python library, and with PyTorch you can train the model with existing data you have, local data, and you train the model, and you would create a project, and maybe you can create a dashboard from there. You can use Django, you can use React Next for the dashboard, the website, and you would use PyTorch. You can use a web browser model, so it would live on the web browser. So that way, it's better for privacy. No data will be stored into a server, which is better. And for learning, because I mentioned learning, we just retain 20%. So we have to practice and create a project. But in my case, what I do for learning, I upload a lot of PDFs, YouTube, like personal PDF or books. I mention a lot of YouTube videos I like. I mention a lot of websites I like on Notebook ML, Google Notebook ML. You can create and generate a podcast with Notebook ML, and then I listen that all the time. And then at the end of the day, I would really think deeply what I learned while I was doing other things. You have to re-listen, and then, okay, what I can apply from my learning session of today. Sometimes I'm in the bus, I'm driving, I'm in the plane, I listen all of the contents I mixed all together with Notebook ML. I generated a podcast, and then I listen that on the go. And then at the end of the day, I would create a project from there. I would create a project that involve PyTorch, maybe scikit-learn, the Python library as well. I would train a model there. I would have a pipeline with Fast API, and maybe a Jupyter notebook, and then I would progress that way. I suggest you to do that. You will see it's a really exciting journey. It's a really fascinating journey, but you have to start today, because otherwise you will never do it.